She won't be here till 5. That's what Lear just told me. Nope. That's why I have you.
Means we gotta do all those proclamations ourselves.
That's where you're going. You're just as good as I am for that thing.
So, well, there's
All right, thank you.
3 of these, so we'll just split up the passes.
Join on my own. Good thing the rest of us. Wherever he's going, I'm going. Okay.
Elizabeth gonna be at the, Elizabeth Wong gonna be at the Sable Trace meeting?
All right, are we ready? Everybody good? Are we ready over there?
Lear's escaping.
He's not going far.
He's gonna have to move them little legs faster.
Yeah.
Double time. I was getting the eye from over there. Well, good afternoon. Welcome everybody to the Commission special meeting. It is Thursday, May 2nd, 2019. It is currently 1:02 p.m. We're in the City Chambers, and I call this Commission meeting to order. Those present with me here are Commissioner Luke, Vice Mayor McDowell, myself, Mayor Hanks, Commissioner Emmerich. We have City Manager Lear, City Attorney Slayton. We have City Clerk or Assistant City Clerk Ms. Taylor. We have our Recording Secretary Ms. Hale. We have our who all we got back here? I don't see any of the big boys back here. But we got plenty of staff, plenty of people back here that are representing this city. We appreciate them all very much. So we're going to get started. If we could, will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? If Ms. Jill would lead that for me, I'd be much appreciative.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today was National Day of Prayer, so if you did not attend outside, we had a great crowd. It was a great time. But keep those in your thoughts and minds and prayers today on National Day of Prayer. Everybody you love. And we're going to move forward with our approval of the agenda.
So moved, Mayor.
Could I bring something up before we approve it as is? Because we have time certain for 5 o'clock meeting, I would like to have not just commission comments at the beginning, of this meeting, but we do it and offer it again at that hour also.
Offer commission communication after.
Public comment.
Oh, public comments.
Right, public comment before,
Each
at
one.
that 5 o'clock, have
Sure, I'm okay with that.
another general.
I mean, as long as the board is, I'm good.
And the other one was commission comments. If we get done with this early, maybe we could do commission comments before
time? Okay.
the other times.
Okay. So I have a motion on the floor by the Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll try to incorporate that in a motion. To move commission communications to after item 7F. Because we're
After this section of the
section,
meeting.
right, let me rephrase it.
Give time allowed.
Commission communications to be heard prior to the time certain, items.
If time allows.
Right, if time allows.
I don't either. I was just going with the comment.
So it saves it from being at the end.
And not just commission communications, but administrative communications. And then you want to have public comment before the 5 o'clock time certain.
At the 5 o'clock time, instead of making them wait until afterwards, allowing them to speak
So when we
again.
open up the meetings, we will open with the public comments. also.
Exactly, like it's brand new
Sure.
again.
I'm okay with that. There's a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Motion on the floor by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Luke. Let's take the vote. Passes unanimously.
Before we go on, city attorney, since the items at 5 o'clock are quasi in nature, can we do public comment? If it's not related to the agenda items, obviously we can do public comment, but if it's related to the agenda items, don't we have to swear each of those commenters in?
For the quasi-judicial procedure, there is a public hearing, which includes public comment. Those commenting during the public hearing, during the quasi-judicial items, must be sworn in according to city code.
Okay.
If someone chooses to make a public comment that's not part of that public hearing, that's up to them.
Okay,
So we should probably open, if we're going to do public comments for the 5 o'clock, then we should probably make sure we need to make sure that all those that want to speak are sworn in, so we'll stand the
they-
whole room.
Well, it's only if they want it to be part of the quasi judicial. They may
Well, if
just
it's on
want
the
to
topic
comment.
though, that's what you're
Let me
saying.
clarify. We have two portions on our agenda for general public comment at the beginning of the meeting and the end of the meeting. That's just general public comment. During the quasi-judicial items, we must open public comment for those quasi-judicial items. Those members speaking at that time on those items must be sworn according to our code.
That'll work.
okay. I just wanted to get clarification, that's all. This is quasi stuff.
We
so-
are going to move on. We're going to skip announcements because I was informed we have no announcements. So we're going to move on to public comment. Do I have any public comment?
I don't have any cards, Mayor.
Okay, wonderful. Then we're going to move on to welcome of new employees. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to call Christine McDade, our Human Resources Director, down so she can introduce our new employees.
Is that Dean?
You open that one.
Good afternoon. For the record, Christine McDade, Human Resources Director. It's my pleasure to introduce and formally welcome some of our newest members of the team here at the city. When I call you your name, please stand. From Finance, we have Lisa Herman, Budget Administrator. Scott Lane, Deputy Fire Chief from Fire. Parks, we have Dylan George, Part-Time Recreation Attendant. Patricia Hendrickson, Assistant Aquatic Supervisor. Lindsay Sauer, Aquatic Supervisor. From Police, we have David Brown, a Police Officer. Nathan Gendron, Police Officer. Public Utilities, we have Colleen, I believe she goes by Coco Hibbets, our Community Outreach Coordinator. We have Tara McClary, Customer Service Rep 1. Michael McHale, Wastewater Trainee. Nicholas Topolnicki. I practiced it, I swear. Talk to my staff, they tell you. He's also a wastewater trainee for Public Utilities. Public Works, finally we have Cheryl Rupke, Customer Service Rep 1. So on behalf of the city, it's my pleasure to wish you the best in your new roles and congratulations.
Welcome. Glad to have you. All right, so let's move on here. All jumbled up.
Now where are we going?
We're moving on to 6A, presentations. This will be on our Social Service Division presentation. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. We have two of these today. One's for our departmental presentations. First one's from Social Services. Second one will be from Human Resources, so you'll get to see Christine again today. But we'll start with Social Services. It's called Janet Up. She can give you an update on that.
Thank you, City Manager. Janet Carrillo, Social Services Manager for the record. So first off, I'd like to thank you guys for allowing me to come in and talk about all my accomplishments in social services for the fiscal year 17-18. As always, it's a pleasure coming to visit with you, and today I get to share with you all about social services. So my second slide, I like to call it my disclosure slide. I'd like to say that I promise to keep the presentation short, sweet, and interesting, and I promise not to be like this gentleman here that has 50 ways to make a presentation more exciting, but he's on slide 67, so I promise not to do that. So all about social services. Social services is a division under the city manager's department. Our mission is to ensure the availability, awareness, and accessibility of programs and resources in the community, and to assist families and individuals while improving their overall quality of life. We aim to be a one-stop location for local residents to connect to area resources, and our ultimate goal is to assist families in overcoming a financial crisis. We are very proud that the city offers these programs to our residents, and we are grateful to each and every one of you for supporting our goals and objectives in our division. So now meet my wonderful staff. Love these girls. The division includes a manager, yours truly, a staff assistant 2 who provides administrative support, Erin Elsenheimer, a staff assistant 1 who is the first point of contact, Brittany Rainey, and 2 caseworkers who serve our clients and connect them with resources, Amy Windish and Jasmine Waltz. In fiscal year 17-18, we also have 2 dedicated volunteers from the Northport Police Department's volunteer program. Ms. Linda Mather joined us in September 2016, and Ms. Peggy Luggate, who joined us in October 2016. Our volunteers assist in a variety of ways, from screening clients to answering phones and helping us with logistics on our major community events. We're actually really grateful and adore our volunteers, long-term volunteers. So what's a day in the life of social services? Our caseworkers meet with our clients, assess their needs, and connect them with resources. In fiscal year 17-18, we pre-screened 652 clients, completed 521 applications, and entered 11 access points. Our staff assistants provide the first point of contact, submit work orders, and complete various tasks behind the scenes. In fiscal year 17-18, they provided 3,464 information requests, provided support to the Family Service Center tenants, and were responsible for procurement, budget development, and event coordination. So how do we provide social services? We provide social services through grants and partnerships. Based on our strong positive relationships, we expended $50,120 of our SOS and EFS grants and $171,525 from local community agencies in fiscal year 17-18. This funding helps our Northport families and individuals in crisis with rental and mortgage assistance, as well as utility payments. Some of our partnering agencies include Area Agency on Aging, United Way, Community Foundation of Sarasota County, aka Season of Sharing, SOS, St. Nathaniel's Episcopal Church, Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, Catholic Charities, and Jewish Family and Children's Services. So where are we located? In addition to the day-to-day operations, the Social Services Division administers a Family Service Center where we are housed. The FSC currently houses 6 community agencies, the health departments such as WIC and Healthy Start, along with Literacy Volunteers of South Sarasota County, JFCS, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Spark, and the Loveland Center. The building opened in 2008 to be a one-stop shop for local families to obtain services. So question, are you guys still with me? Yeah. All right, because here's ACM Bronco telling me that I could not use the sprinkler system to wake you guys up. So just want to make sure that was okay. So moving on, we conduct 3 community events. These 3 events are designed to further connect local residents to area resources. They include the Community Baby Shower and Preschool Expo held in April, the Back to School Resource Fair held in August, and the Home for the Holidays program held in December. In April 2018, there were 356 attendees to the Community Baby Shower and Preschool Expo. This event is in partnership with Healthy Start Coalition of Sarasota County. Our goal with this event is to connect parents with young children up to age 4 and pregnant mothers to a variety of community resources. In August 2018, 507 backpacks were distributed to Northport school-aged children. 800 people were in attendance to the Back to School Resource Fair. Our goal with this event is to connect parents with resources that supplement the costs associated with student expenses. In December 2017, the Home for the Holidays program consisted of 2 components, the Adoption Shop and Toy Chest programs. Participants must be low-income and Northport residents to be eligible. 117 families and 317 children received gifts through our Toy Chest program. 113 families and 293 children were adopted through our Adopt and Shop program. So what's coming for social services? The Family Service Center will be seeing an upgrade to the front of the building with exterior signage being installed. We also hope to serve more clients this year, focusing on our senior population. And our division will be working closely with the city manager's communication team to increase outreach efforts highlighting social services and partnering agencies. So on my second to last slide, hopefully I didn't put anybody to sleep. It was short, sweet, and interesting, like I told you at the very beginning. But if you did fall asleep, it's probably the best sleep you've ever had. So again, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come in and talk about social services. Before I open the floor for questions, I want to take the moment to say thank you for your continued support to myself and to my staff. For those of you who have interacted with me, you know how passionate I am about the field that I work in. Please know that I'm very proud to represent the city of Northport out in the community. I always like to talk about how unique and special we are. And so my staff and I are grateful to each and every one of you for allowing us to continue to serve our community. So, any questions?
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for everything that you do out there. It's amazing. You do get a lot of stuff done,
Thank you.
and it helps the community. We
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
Thank you, I appreciate
Vice
it.
Mayor McDowell?
Yeah, social services, it really has the pulse of what's going on in the community, and I appreciate you and your staff and everything you guys do. The events are very well attended, and everybody has such a great time at them. Curious about the 2 units that are in the services building. What's going on with them? Are they still vacant? Are they going to get used?
They're currently vacant, so if you'll allow me, I'd like to backtrack a little bit just to let you know what's been the involvement since the suite became vacant. As you all know, it became vacant back in 2018 when our last tenant there was Catholic Charities Family Haven. They decided not to renew their lease, and they stated the space was not adequate for the needs for the population that they serve. So following that, Salvation Army indicated that they were interested, but their proposal was higher than their funding source accepted, so they kind of had to fall out too. Following that, there had been some discussion regarding the hotbed shelter in partnership with the Sheriff's Department. However, as you are aware, earlier this year, Sheriff Knight informed us he would not be moving forward with the project. After that, I reached out to Family Promise, informed them that I had available shelter space, and I contacted them because they currently have a shelter in Venice, and I had heard that they wanted to expand to Northport, and I figured they had the expertise on running a shelter. So the executive director there, though, told me that there was many factors to be considered, such as finances, hiring additional staff, and of course, board approval. So that has not moved anywhere as well. In February, I attended a food insecurities meeting with you, Vice Mayor McDowell. Present was Susan Lord. She runs the food pantry at Atwater Elementary. And then we had Amber Lee from All Faiths Food Bank. The discussion there was to locate a site, possibly at one of our parks, to put a full monthly mobile pantry. In addition, All Faiths thought our shelter space would be great for an emergency food pantry. But since then, All Faiths has found a location for their mobile pantry. They're going to be using Trinity United Methodist Church the 3rd Monday of every month from 4:30 to 6 for a full mobile food pantry. So they are no longer looking to us for that. They would still, however, like us to become a partner site, meaning to put a food pantry in the shelter suite. But we would have to fill out an application. We would have to cover the staffing and location and furnish the pantry with refrigerators, shelves, etc. They would supply the items to be dispersed. Basically, they would provide the food items. If this is not something that you guys are interested in doing and giving me a directive on, my next step would be to send a mass email to our contacts and inform them of available shelter space.
Could you say it again as far as, so All Faiths is using Trinity United?
Yes,
And then
ma'am.
they would
Mhm.
also consider using the shelter space?
Yes,
As long as
just as an emergency food pantry. The one that they use at Trinity United Methodist Church, that is a full mobile food pantry. Remember they were talking about being able to put pallets there, bringing meats and veggies, those types of items. With us, it would be just emergency, would probably be like canned goods, or if there is any fresh veggies, it would just be on a small amount.
Similar to what Salvation Army
Yes,
is
ma'am.
doing? All right. I just know that there's such a need out there, and that space,
Right.
while may not be perfect, can
Right,
still fill a need.
right,
So, thank you for that update. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
absolutely.
Commissioner Hood?
there's something else too. I went to something over at the Morgan Center, and the Department of Health guy was there. They're looking for a place, a shelter for homeless teens. And I told him about that. I've made the city manager aware. There was some emails that went between he and I earlier this week, so I'll loop you in, but it's potential that they could house, at least temporarily, some of the homeless teams in the area,
Okay.
if that would work out.
Okay, that's all I have.
That's it.
Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so
Thank
much.
you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
great.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to move on.
We were expecting
I had a squirrel moving around back there clapping. We're going to move on to Human Resource Director Christine McDade, Annual Presentation to Commission, City Manager.
All right, thank you again, Mayor. Now you get the second opportunity at Christine for the day. So,
Second opportunity to mispronounce a name or I'll try to do better this time. Alrighty, well, so your second presentation, I don't know how I'll be able to top Janet, but we'll do our best to get through here. So good afternoon to everyone. For the record, Christine McDade, Human Resources Director here at the city. It's my pleasure to be able to present to all of you Human Resources. As you know, we were a part of another department for a long time. We became our own solo type standalone department in 2016. We've grown a lot since. We've made some enhancements. We've still got a lot of work to do, but I'm really proud to be able to stand here today and talk a little bit about what we've been working on the last year. So I guess it'd help if I pull it up. So Human Resources is really when I started in 2016. We were already doing a lot of cool things. We've tried to enhance a little bit. What I wanted to talk about today is that in addition to the traditional type employee relations, employment law, when we work with the city attorney's office on employment matters, recruitment, benefits, those things, we're going to talk more about all the recognition and the neat kind of projects, enhancements we've done to enhance our services. Like Janet, I want to brag about our wonderful team. We've grown again since 2016. We try to focus a lot on our customer service. It's important to recognize our internal, external customers, and all the things we're going to talk about today wouldn't be possible without this great team right here in Human Resources. You know, with unemployment under 4% in the state of Florida, nationally it's about the same. I think Sarasota might be a little bit lower. We have to compete with other employers, other organizations to attract and retain employees here. Our department has grown and we've been able to do some enhancements to our employee services. One person or one job I wanted to focus on in this organizational chart is the position downstairs, which is the receptionist. So you all know Donna, our staff assistant, joined our team officially at the start of this fiscal year. And she's one of the first people you see when you walk into our city hall, our wonderful building. So it's kind of an extension of what we're trying to do for everyone who comes in, internal, external customers, to make sure we're greeting them and assisting them. So she was kind of an extension of what we're already trying to do for our employees. So that was kind of a nice transition for us. So our mission and priorities remain recruitment of talented employees. Like I said, we're competing with other folks in our region. We want to offer competitive compensation, which we know we've done that. We've had those discussions in the recent past. Level and fair workplace for employees to be successful. No one's going to want to work here if they don't feel like this is a good place to be, where they're heard, if they have concerns, if they're supported, if they're given the tools, the resources to be successful, the training. So we do our best to recognize that hard work in our employee engagement and recognition programs, which like I said, I'll focus a little more on today than I've done in the past. Excellence in customer service, as I mentioned. Employee wellness activities. I know you are all familiar with a lot of our kind of outside the box projects and programs we've been offering over the last few years. So that's been exciting for us as a department. What we just had today, I wanted to sort of highlight part of recruitment. You hire, you bring these new folks in, and it's very important for them to feel welcome, to feel needed, to feel appreciated. Staff made a suggestion last year to do an employee meet and greet, which is right before our formal welcome to the city that I stand up here and do every month. And that's been very successful, and I want to thank everyone for attending, the commissioners, directors, all the employees in the departments. We've had just a really good outpouring of support for that program. So it's kind of a nice little addition to what we were already doing, kind of enhance that. So the culture of an organization is really the personality, kind of represents what we're all about. So we do our best here to support that within the different departments. Again, workplace culture is just a really big part of why people want to come to work. And that is something we're trying to do to support with the different programs. Just get everybody off to a good start, as I said, with the employee meet and greet, and to send the message that we do care about you and that we want to see you be successful here. We do that through employee development and training. These are just some examples. We certainly want to maintain our workplace harassment initiatives to demonstrate that we have a zero tolerance for any type of any form rather of harassment or workplace discrimination. Performance evaluations, so people are getting those annual evaluations. It's that formal time to sit down and sort of give record attention to that performance. I put in there, it's a little odd, distracted driving. That's a kind of safety training we've done recently with the texting and the being on the phone and such. So just a reminder of the pitfalls of obviously doing that while you're driving and the distractions that could lead to some serious situations. Training on things like first report of injuries. Part of going to any organization is making sure that there are safety measures in place, safety practices. If someone should by chance get hurt at work, what do they do? So we do regular training on that. And a lot of what we do, we try to certainly be proactive, but we tailor to the needs. So if a department says to us, hey, we need some kind of a session or some kind of workshop, we'll be glad to create something and go out to the workplace, the work site. You all know about our 3 unions. AFSCME, IAF, PBA, Labor and Employee Relations are a big part of what we do in human resources. Policy development and review. A big part is having a good foundation of policies and procedures. And based on things that change in our world around us, the employment, as far as the workplace, we have to tailor that. I mean, you think about policies, before FMLA, before the ADA, things have to be changed and revised. So we do that in an ongoing, ongoing basis. So as I say, you have the employees here. We want to make sure we're recognizing them for the hard work they do. We have a national Employee Appreciation Day celebration, if you will, by choosing to hold our annual recognition luncheon. It's the first Friday in March every year. This year, if you remember the baseball theme, we had over almost 400 people we served. At that point, we honored our employees through service award recognition. We allowed the departments to present their particular awards in their department specific to what they do. And the recognition, of course, for customer service, community service, innovation, and leadership. And it's at this event that we formally recognize our Employee of the Year. Risk management is certainly a big part of what we do in human resources, promoting, as I said, that safety culture. We just revamped our safety committee, which means now quarterly, and we now have representatives from all the different departments. We have that before, but let me say it this way. We have people from frontline folks doing the work to managers. So we have all level of employees at these meetings to give their input about different matters, in regards to their safety issues at their particular workplace. And then in response, we may have some safety training we do. As I mentioned, distracted driving. We've done some things with hydration. As I said that, I'm going to get it very quick. Hydration. Distracted driving, hydration, being aware we have a lot of employees who work out in the sun, sun care for heat stroke and certainly sunburn, things like that. And then, what a great way to celebrate our employees, to recognize our veterans. I'm proud to say here at the city, we have a lot of veterans we employ. And annually, we do a celebration in November here, and we've done it the last couple of years here in the commission chambers. And, every year we look at it, while the message is about the same, if not exactly the same, we do try to change it up and enhance it to make it better every year. And just, we want to make it meaningful. It's certainly, we're very proud of all our veterans who served and our veterans who choose to make City of Northport their employer. Employee cookout we've had a few years. We'll be looking for that this summer to schedule that. We have a workplace mentoring program we put in place. This allows the employees to partner up with the Big Brothers Big Sisters group, and this was our first year. We're going to do it again, we're hoping, in the fall. We're just wrapping up this month. And also Bring Your Kids to Work Day, which was a great success again this year. Again, changing it, adding different activities, trying to keep it fresh. And I'll say we learn from things. Obviously, if something didn't work this year, we're going to change it up and try something new next year. So doing our best to allow, these are, like I said, employee events, allowing some engagement for them to understand how much they are appreciated as our most valuable assets here. Another area we're very proud of in the department is all our wellness activities. As I said earlier, kind of thinking outside the box, we have a walking workstation here on the second floor where you can actually be on the computer and do a very slow treadmill exercise for 30 minutes. Benefits and Safety Fair, which is an annual event where we have vendors. You can get your flu shot, your angio screen, you can get your blood pressure taken, all those kinds of things, just promoting different positive or healthy lifestyle activity and choices. So it's I think it's gotten bigger every year, and we generally do that in the Mullen Center. We have weekly fitness classes at the Morgan Center, and also a pretty cool employee wellness library where people can come and check out books on different topics from healthy living, diet things, to maybe you're dealing with some grieving issues with the loss of someone, depression, all kinds of things that are confidential. We have a checkout system where no one can know what you checked out, if you will, so that's been kind of cool. We have a pretty cool library that's kept in our HR department that employees are always welcome to come visit and check out books. In addition to books, we also have DVDs and we have some videos, so it's kind of been a cool enhancement again to our employee services. And for these things, we also have from time to time some healthy drawings, drawings for wellness participation. And when I say healthy drawings, items that are like smoothie blenders or Fitbits or things that are of that nature to kind of, again, enhance your lifestyle or offer you different options. And that's been well received by the employees as well. We try to do that, if not pretty much monthly. This month, last month rather, was Dental Hygiene Month, promoting good dental hygiene. We gave out some like packets of dental, like a toothbrush and dental floss and things like that, just to promote good dental hygiene for everyone. So that was kind of a well-received thing. And here are just some photos from our annual Wellness and Safety Fair. Again, you can partake in a lot of different activities, all geared towards healthy living, promoting good health, and these are for our employees, as I said. And, towards the last year, I just want to mention our Lunch and Learns and Breakfast and Learns. Lunch and Learns, these are some of the topics we had. They talk about the importance of, watching your weight during the holidays. Obviously, we had sort of a weight challenge that started in December, ended in January. If you participated and you were successful, they had a weigh-in. Again, it's all voluntary. A lot of people participate in that, and you got some kind of a card or something as a reward if you were able to stay within your weight, like give or take. I don't remember what the pounds were, 2 to 3 pounds or something. It was very attainable, but we also had a coloring. They talk about stress and the importance of, or the benefits rather, of being able to color. You see adult coloring books, which went really well this year. We had a lunch and learn on stress, and wanted just to mention at the bottom here, breakfast and learns, because we understand not all employees are at City Hall. We understand that employees don't all have the same hours, so we've done a lot of off-site, early 6 o'clock breakfast, where we have a specific topic that would be valuable to that group, with the solid waste group, whoever it is. Road and drainage, I know we've worked with utilities and such, so it's been a good opportunity to get out further and reach more employees. So we're always looking for ways to better that. And having all of that and just creating a good foundation for the city, we are part of the strategic planning, of course, making sure that we have a good employee base, a good foundation, so that we can reach the goals citywide. So I just want to thank everyone for your support. As I said, we've been really working hard, and I think we've got a lot of great things to come even. We've got a lot of work to do, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to, answer those.
Mr. Luke?
Do you accept donations of DVDs and books to your library?
Yeah, we could do that, yep. Yeah, and I think we've used some of our wellness money that we get through Cigna, and that's appropriate to do, use that, and it's giving back to the employees so they can use these resources.
I didn't know you had it, so that was something that
Yeah.
I learned, so I've got
Yeah.
a couple that I might be able to.
Yeah, you just come to Human Resources, we'll be glad to let you go and look at all our books and such. It's
Well,
been nice.
I mean, can I give you some
Yes,
stuff?
yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
a donation.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to donate
Yes.
to the library if it's
Yeah,
allowable.
I don't see why, yeah.
We'll even let you check your own items back out.
You can check them back out, that's right.
But if you return them late, there's a fee.
Double for commissioners. Great presentation, thank
That
you.
was
Thank you.
very good, thank
All
you.
right, thank
I don't
you.
have anything else, so
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you very
McDade.
much.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna move on to public hearing. We have our replat for the Dollar Tree lots 14 and 25 in the Park of Commerce. This is quasi judicial item. City Clerk, please swear in those wishing to provide testimony. Oh, no? Yep, he's in.
She knows it by heart.
Those wishing to participate, please raise your hand and repeat after me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief under penalty of perjury, so help you God? Thank you.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Which one do we call it?
I will, I'm gonna go through and do our ex parte, right? That's what I need to do, right after you present. So we're gonna walk through our ex parte. Ms. Jill?
I had a agenda briefing when this was originally on, but we did not discuss it.
Vice Mayor?
I had agenda briefing and, sorry, we didn't even discuss this.
I didn't have an agenda briefing this time, so I had none.
Yeah, I didn't have one on this either, so I have had no conversations on this.
There we go. So we have moved on to that. All right, we're gonna move on, I guess, to presentations. You have 20 minutes. Sir.
My name's Eddie McDonald. I'm with Thomas Engineering Group out of Tampa, Florida, and I represent the developer of this parcel. We are seeking a replat of the existing parcels. Essentially, at the corner of the southwest corner of Toledo Glade and Gateway Avenue, there's an existing plus or minus 2 acre parcel with proposed 9,977 square foot retail building, only needs 1.3 acres of it. So as such, because the seller of the land owns the north parcel 2 acres and the south parcel, what we're doing is the leftover portion on the south half is just being tacked on to the portion to the south. So essentially, we're taking what is 2.09 acres on the north and 1.79 acres on the south, and we're creating the north 1.3 acres and the south 2.5 acres. And these two lots are all part of the same industrial park right there. So again, it's a very simple plat request, and it's for a 9,977 square foot retail building. We've worked with staff, and we have the site plan approval, so this is kind of the last piece of the puzzle. And I would also like to mention my apologies. A member of my team was absent at the last meeting, and there was a bit of a miscommunication and reminders, and it got a little messy, but I went back and looked at the video and of the meeting itself, and I saw the concern on some of the people's face up here, and I just wanted to apologize for that. It's
But
just-
everybody's safe.
Everyone's safe.
Okay,
Total-
good. 'Cause that was what we were concerned about.
It was, and I really appreciate that. I saw the video, so I'm here to answer any kind of questions. It's very straightforward, so if you have any questions for me, please feel free.
All right, well, I'm gonna move on to city staff's presentation next.
Mr. Mayor, before the
Yes.
witness leaves, can he state for the record that he's been sworn?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Oh, yes, I have been sworn in.
Good afternoon, Nicole Galehouse, Planning Division Manager, and I have been sworn. As the applicant stated, this is a replat of lots 14 and 25 in the Park of Commerce. Essentially just moving a little under a half an acre, or a little under a half an acre from lot 25 to lot 14, just to adjust the boundaries there. It has been reviewed and approved by our city surveyor, and that's pretty much all I have on this.
Oh, you have? Do I have a rebuttal from the applicant? Okay. All right.
Mr. Mayor, can we get that on the record, please?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Eddie McDonald, Thomas Engineering, no
No
rebuttal.
rebuttal. Okay, and I'm assuming the city staff is good with what they presented?
Staff has no rebuttal to the no rebuttal.
All right, I appreciate that. Sorry, we have this fancy list we gotta go down. All right, so we're gonna move on to public comment. Do we have any public comment on
No,
this
Mayor, I
item?
don't.
All right, so we're gonna move on to questions. Do I have any questions?
I have only one.
Okay, Commissioner Luke?
Does the same owner own both lots?
Yes, the north and south properties are under the same ownership.
That was one question. You have one more? No? Okay. Mr. McDowell, you good?
Shocking.
I know, I mean, I don't see it. I'm just double checking.
I appreciate that.
You all right?
Good.
I think that's a first.
I know. That's why I don't know what to do right now.
I gotta throw a monkey wrench in every once in a while.
We'll move on to our closing arguments.
Monkey wrenches.
You have a closing argument?
No, I just would like to thank staff and thank the board for hearing us and getting us on this agenda. We're ready to go and start a new development in your city, and we look forward to breaking ground as soon as the plat's recorded, so thank you.
Wonderful. City?
Staff has no closing arguments.
All right, and I have no aggrieved or adversely affected people, I don't think. Doesn't look like, okay. So we're gonna close the hearing and, ready to take a motion.
Make a motion, Mayor. Make a motion to approve PLF 18-245 for the replat as presented.
Second.
Motion on the floor by the Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Luke. Anything to that, Vice Mayor?
Nope.
Commissioner
Thank
Luke?
you.
I'm excited about it. I think it's great.
Thank you.
All right, let's take the vote. That passes unanimously. And it looks like, let me scroll through here. All right, we're gonna move on to item F. Resolution of the City of Northport, Florida, adopting a citywide sponsorship policy. City Clerk, please read resolution by title only.
Thank you.
And Ms. Wong is in the house now for the record.
Thank you. Resolution 2019 R05, a resolution of the City of Northport, Florida, adopting a citywide sponsorship policy incorporating recitals, incorporating recitals, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Our Assistant Parks and Rec Director, Tricia Wisner, is up here. She is extremely excited because she thought she was going to be after all the
So happy.
all the quasi judicial items.
Oh, we
concerned
can-
she was
we
going to be
can
here for
still
8
accommodate.
hours and then not get to it again.
Yeah, we can still
So-
accommodate.
We can make
All
that
about
happen.
accommodations.
Oh, you guys are too
Very
kind.
thankful for you all.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Tricia Wisner, Assistant Director, Parks and Recreation. In June 2018, we brought before you a citywide sponsorship program. You made, through consensus, some changes to that program and asked us to have that reviewed by the City Attorney's Office. We did make those changes as noted in the background material. Met with the City Attorney's Office, who gave us great modifications to the wording, but noted that if we had this approved via resolution as a policy, we would not require an agreement to be signed by everybody for every single sponsorship. So We do look to increase the number of sponsors we have, and by having this resolution approved, we'd be able to streamline the process. Any questions?
Okay. Commissioner Luke?
On page, well, let me back up here, see where I'm at. The citywide sponsorship policy attachment, page 1, under sponsorship opportunity, second line, logo, shouldn't that be temporarily visible instead of temporary?
Yes, it should
Okay.
be. Thank you.
All right, and then there was, I think in the same document, there's a bunch of pound signs. What is supposed to be where all those pound signs are? There are actually 2 of them. Debbie, do you have it marked?
I've got it marked.
I think those are placeholders. We can remove those.
What
I think
those
they
are?
were just placeholders as we were going back and forth, and we can remove those.
Placeholders.
Yeah.
So we,
So is there supposed to be a blank
Yeah.
line there
No.
that reference number is written in or filled in?
That's one of my questions I had. I think it should
Well,
be
go ahead and take over.
it looks,
I see 2 of them on the application, one on the front at the very, very bottom corner, and then one on the back under B. It says regulation number, and I think, and this is something
It's
I would
for-
have, it should be the resolution number 2019 R05.
Yeah. It's so that when we do have the resolution approved, we would put that in. That's why it's a draft in here.
Okay.
It's just a template at this point to show
Okay.
how it would look.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so that's what goes in.
And I think from my perspective, it said city's administrative regulation number, and I went, so I
Okay.
assumed it was resolution, but I just wanted
And
to.
it had been in
So,
a regulation previously, so we'll update that.
Okay, that's all I have, Mayor.
Vice Mayor?
yeah, I just have one left. Commissioner Luke caught the other ones. The very last line on the application, it says questions regarding opportunities can be directed to Miss Laura, and then her phone number and her email. I'm one of those that believes it should not be a specific person, but a general department. That way then, if that person is absent for whatever reason, it doesn't get lost or forgotten about.
We'll
That-
put it to the main parks line. That's a great idea, and we'll
I
just
thought
have
the
it
same
there.
thing, but
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, they must have a reason they want one
Yeah.
person.
Because, if for whatever reason, maybe Miss Laura's out for 2 weeks, and you've got somebody who wants to do a big sponsorship, that message is sitting, waiting for Miss Laura to hear it and come back. And that's why I was just looking for a generalized,
We're not
Number
that
you.
nice, we don't let people go over it.
you may not.
We can make those changes. Those are,
It's just a
Operationally
suggestion,
easy.
but the rest of it looks great, and thank you for capturing it and putting it into a regulation.
Ready for a motion if
All
you
right,
are.
we got no other buttons.
Move to approve resolution number 2019-R-05 with those 3 little changes.
And I'll second.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Luke, seconded by the Vice Mayor. Commissioner Luke, you have anything to that?
I'm excited about this sponsorship program. I think it's really cool.
Vice Mayor?
No, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, let's take the vote. That vote passes unanimously.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so everything else we have is for time certain, so we will move on. I don't think I have any public comment right now.
Nothing.
So I'll move on. We will do commission communication right now. Won't do it later, so I'm gonna do it now. I mean, I might let Vanessa since she's not here, but, Commissioner Luke, do you have any commission communication?
I do have a few items that I wanted to bring up. First of all, I'll say kudos for the demonstration by the police out at the high school. That
So
was
good.
great.
So good.
Reading Day at Atwater was a blast. Thank you to Vice Mayor for 2 hours of work and duty. Looked like you had fun.
Oh my gosh, it went so fast.
Kudos also to the digital defense. I did go to the second class, and those officers are just phenomenal with what they are doing. The other items I want to bring up, I want to tell you something that that I am aware of. And our city is becoming very active with cleaning up abandoned homes, homes that are needing to be condemned and that. And within that, there are places that have abandoned vehicles or vehicles that are just, they're in the same shape that the house is. With the way it's written within our code, they can't really do anything with those vehicles. So I'm asking the commission, could we allow staff to look at that and maybe within the abandonment or the condemning portion of the houses, also include any of the vehicles that would be on said property?
I would think that's just common sense, that if it's abandoned house, that there's abandoned vehicles, that it
I
would
don't
be.
know how the law states on that. Is there anything?
Well, our code's stopping them
Stopping them.
because we allow 2 unregistered, untagged vehicles to be parked on a property.
Oh, but that's not an abandoned home, that's.
We didn't specify,
Oh,
so
I see
they
what
are
you're saying.
stopped. So that's
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Now I
if-
get what you're saying.
If at least we could look at them in a different light in a condemned property, then they would be able to do something with it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what would you like then?
I would like staff to
Y'all
be
look-
able to
Is,
bring us back something that would change that
To address
portion
that?
of the codes to address it. It's not, wouldn't necessarily have to be under the parking, it could be under the condemning or the abandonment properties.
that would be under the ULDC or the admin code? Yeah, I'm all for that because the abandoned vehicles on abandoned property just brings down property values, but I also recognize the fact that we're going through the ULDC right now. And,
Well, this is a current problem.
right, no,
So
I
I
hear
would
you.
like it to come back to us sooner than later so that their hands aren't tied.
City manager, is this like a simple 1 or 2 word kind of thing, or is this gonna be a big in-depth ULDC change? It sounds like it's pretty
Miles,
straightforward
it-
and
it-
simple, Simon,
It sounds
but
very simple, but I never like to tell somebody else how simple their job is. Giving them the opportunity to weigh in on it, so I'll ask Mr. Miles to speak up on
Thank you.
this.
Yes, Frank Miles, Director of Neighborhood Development Services. It would require, actually, we've asked for a review. We've just submitted a request up the chain through the city manager's office to the city attorney's office to take a look at that. I don't believe it requires a change to the ULDC. I believe it'd be more of an administrative code, perhaps another code, portions from the property maintenance code or some other building code section that you all could adopt that would allow us to be able to deal with debris, abandoned vehicles, et cetera. Commissioner Luke is correct. There are a couple of properties we went after, and one of them has a couple of abandoned vehicles. There's trash. So we just need to make sure that there's a means to get those cleaned up now that we have them secured.
Okay. Sounds good.
yeah,
I'm all-
this is one of those things that it's not just changing the ULDC to make things better. This is something that affects neighborhoods and affects property values and stuff. And I do think this is kind of moves up the bar of importance.
Absolutely.
And as much as I would like to wait until the ULDC rewrite, I don't think this can. This really needs to be looked at to preserve our neighborhoods.
So you have some properties that were actually wide open, and we found some provisions within the code that we were able to board them up, secure them. But now we've got the situation with all of this stuff that's laying around, and it's just not good. You're exactly correct, Vice Mayor. It's not good for the neighborhoods at all.
Yeah.
But it does sound like you were working on something to bring back to us anyways, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
You are.
Working with our friends in the city attorney's
Good,
office,
good.
we will do that.
And I'm assuming you're doing that as fast as you possibly can since it's affecting you so directly.
Absolutely.
Well,
It's
it's
an imminent
probably
problem.
like 10 times as much work, because if you could fix the problem, which is the code, then you can move on and resolve the issue, and that way then staff isn't going out for code enforcement things, or, you know, the police aren't having to go out for that and this, and.
Well, there's, interestingly enough, there's been a kind of a domino effect since we picked up the two. Now, the police folks said, oh, there's one over here, and there's one over there, and there's one over here, so we need to get on top of this.
If I can add something else, when you have an abandoned vehicle, people like to go to those abandoned homes and live, and if it's being boarded up and there's a vehicle there, guess where they go?
In the vehicle.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Do you need
thank
a
you.
consensus, city?
They're already working on it. You said that they were gonna bring something to us, because it's,
And I
because
appreciate
it's
that,
hindering their flow.
because I was asked to bring it up to get permission for staff to do so by commission. So that's why I brought it up, to get it.
Well, do I have permission, just for the record,
Absolutely.
across the board? It's unanimous consensus.
Thank
Keep
you.
working on it, Frank. You're doing great.
Thank you. Two other points. There was the director's notes that we always get, tells us what goes on. And my ears perked up when the discussion of our questions being sent to all commissioners. And I wrote to the city manager just to make sure that it's not all questions that we would ask. It's questions that pertain to the agenda,
Yes.
such as we discussed in the last meeting. So wanted to just bring that up so that it was aired. Which then brings me to the second point. All of you got the response that the city attorney answered me back in regards to eminent domain. There's attorneys from Sarasota who are sending letters to our citizens along that. They are eminent domain chasers, like there's ambulance chasers. And so I really want to protect our people, our citizens. And that's why I asked her, is there formulas, you know, of how much they would get toward an attorney representing them, because they could hire an attorney to represent them, and then they end up paying a whole lot of money for the balance of what that attorney cost. So I was thankful that she did make that known to all of us, because that I would feel bad if somebody believes some of the things that are being said and told out there. I don't know, city attorney, do you want to say anything in regards to it?
Be happy to answer any questions that you have. Otherwise, when we do send out the written offer from the city, we're required to include certain information and copies of statutes to apprise people of their rights. We can't counsel them on those, but we are required to provide them notice of that.
I appreciate that, because I think they need the full disclosure and what kind of compensation or how it's measured to them, because some are being told some things that aren't correct, and I don't want them to be misled or lied to.
But we do not counsel them on calculating the compensation. We provide the statutes that are required, and our offer will be based on the appraisal for fair market value.
We're providing them the truth and the statutes and all the evidence to show what the reality is instead of something else. And the last thing, I was very happy, Elaine Emmerich and I went over to visit with Brandon Johnson in regards to having an assembly for the film that we talked about that Charlotte County did. Choices and Chances. And Elaine is really going to be the focal point of developing that program. The school does have assemblies, and we're looking at September when they come back, and all the students would be able to have an assembly to see that and have discussion and counseling. So thank you to this commission for looking at these life choices within teens' lives and taking it seriously. I'm proud of who and what we stand for. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I just pretty much attended the same events that were going on with Commissioner Luke, Atwater Elementary. Gosh, those kids. It was really fun. All the different grades from grades 1 through 4. I didn't get to do kindergarten or 5th, but man, those kids were just spot on. Really enjoyed it. The digital defense that I attended, Steph did an amazing job. And listening to the teens that were in the class, quite comical, and the things that they are being put up against with this digital age. Wow, glad mine are grown.
Some of it was scary.
Yeah, downright scary. Yeah, downright scary. So if parents are listening, and there's one more coming up, I'm going to give a shameless plug for you guys. I think it's May 6th.
I think
next
the
one?
6th and the 21st, I think.
Is there one more or 2 more coming up? So need to get that advertised, because that's something that they should be, maybe they could even be looking at partnering with the schools, at Boys and Girls Clubs, try and get the word out a little bit more. See, what else did I do? This morning was the prayer thing. That was my first time going to it. Very, very uplifting. It was great. And there was one more. That's it, Mayor.
Okay. Commissioner Emmerich?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo with what Commissioner Luke said about police and fire and their demonstration over at the high school. I mean, the kids were so attentive. They did such a professional job. And they actually showed timelines, because it was like the accident happened now, they'd call it in. A few moments later, then the trucks would arrive. So it gave you a better understanding on exactly what was going on. And they went through the whole process of, tearing apart a car, getting the victim out and taking it. It was great. It was very good. I think it was very informative, and I think they did an excellent job.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys, because when I brought that up, that was exactly the vision I had.
We did it before.
Of what, what we just need to keep doing, just to keep putting it out there. City Attorney, do you have anything?
No, sir.
City Manager?
Yes, sir.
City Clerk?
No, thank you.
We are taking a break till 4.
My name is What makes this place so special is the people, the community who you serve, and the people who you work with. Our mission statement is to provide the community with the elite law enforcement services out there, with the highest priority being the protection of life and property. We work 24/7, holidays, there's no time off. Our agency is rapidly growing. We have a detective bureau, we have a traffic unit, we have a full crime scene unit. Northport PD is an accredited agency. Actually, we're double Excelsior accredited, which is we are one of 14, I believe, other agencies in the state of Florida that have reached that double Excelsior accredited. It's a very prestigious accomplishment to have. Most of the people only see the police officers in uniforms out there doing the day-to-day tasks, but they can't do that alone. In the background, what people don't see a lot is the support staff here at Northport Police Department. We go from very high density areas to very rural areas throughout the city. The challenge that Northport Police Department is facing right now is the rapid growth in the city of Northport and trying to keep up with those levels of service. Law enforcement officers wear many different hats, but at the end of the day, they're problem solvers. They're there for you 24/7, and their importance of all of our officers that we stress to is to go home safe at night.
My name is Dominic Caravella. I'm actually the chief mechanic for the city of Northport for fleet. Well, we do every vehicle that the city owns. We do the entire city. So that includes your PD, fire, sanitation, public works, your building department, landscaping, because we do, lawnmowers as small as that all the way on up. Anything the city owns that has a motor on it, we do it here. I oversee the work out here in the shop. I just make sure it's flowing. If somebody has a problem or if they're running into something they're not familiar with, then the two of us would get together and try and figure it out and do the best we can and get it up and going. I started out when I was young, went to a trade school, graduated from there, and started off doing oil changes and things. Well, I was always interested in transmissions, and I became a transmission mechanic for many years. I came down here, I used to vacation down here. My mother-in-law lived here, my in-laws, and when we used to come down on vacation for 2 weeks, I sort of liked the area. I've got 3 kids. My daughter is a high school teacher at the high school here in Northport. My son's an officer for Northport. My wife works for Northport, and I work for Northport. And my youngest daughter is in nursing program. She's doing nursing. I got 2 pieces of fire equipment in here. Now, if we don't repair them or this or that, the fire department's without that equipment, so they can't service the general public. We have to get that thing running, get it fixed best we can, get it back to them, and then they put it in service for the public. It's incredibly important. I mean, all right, we'll take, for instance, that rescue, all right? We're gonna fix that rescue, we're gonna do what we can, right? You call, that rescue comes to your house, boom, somebody's having a heart attack. They throw them in that rescue, they take it. It better make it from point A to point B. So I have to make sure that everything is running as best as it possibly can. That's the matter of life and death. Same thing with an officer of the law. If that guy is running, he has to be able to hop in that car. He relies on that thing to start, drive, and perform like he wants it to. My job to keep it working that way so he can do his job. I can't speak for everybody in here. For me, it's the reward of knowing that that vehicle is repaired, it's back out there in the field, it's doing its job, that man's doing his job, so I feel like I did my job. It's just a gratification of doing the repair. I love my job. I mean, I wouldn't really, I can't see myself doing anything else. We have a hydraulic leak, so I got to change a hydraulic line from the tank all the way up to the main control. So we got to take it off. I got to get a pan. Steve, can you grab one of them pans from over there, please? One of them drain pans? Thank you. We'll be making a hydraulic hose on our hydraulic machine. Let me get the operator to get his lunch bucket out of there. I need you to get your lunch bucket. I gotta lift the cab. I gotta get in the back, if you can. We got one of his main feed hydraulic hoses.
What happened to it?
It blew out. It actually had a hole in it and it was leaking. We're gonna make one right now. I'll show you how we do that. Where it goes through the clamps, a lot of times it'll rub, and it rubbed through, so we get leak from it. So we're just going to replace the whole thing, and we make them here. We have all the dies, so I just got to get the fittings from the parts department, and we're just going to make it. So we generate work orders, and then they issue all the parts for the vehicle to be repaired, and it basically goes on this work order. I'm going to need some hydraulic fittings. I'm making a hydraulic hose.
Okay, how many you need?
2.
You want to get those first, and then or you want me to go look first?
Yeah, let's see if that is the size. I believe it's 16 by 16, but I could be wrong. A part of this job is taking care of, roadside assistance, whether it be a hydraulic line, flat tire, dead battery, anything along those lines. Or sometimes the vehicles, the guys will get in them at the end to come in, and they don't want to start. So the heavy equipment operator now is calling, hey, my vehicle don't start. So we have to send a guy out, either throw a battery in or check out why it's not, why it won't run. It's not only a physical thing, it's a thinking thing. You got to be able to think these things through. Especially if you're on a call out and you're out in the field. Now there's, yeah, they can touch base, you can call in and get assistance, but a lot of times you got to be able to, you got to think on your feet, as they would say. That's the first step. Here comes my parts guy with my fittings. Thank you, Mike. You put the fitting on the end. 3.1. It could take some time. It depends on, like right here we're dealing with 1-inch line, but if you were to deal with bigger size line, it could take some time. Usually it takes about 20 minutes, a half hour, give or take. That's removing the part, making the line, and possibly putting it back on. And that's what it looks like.
That's finished product.
That's finished product. A lot of times I like to add sleeve. What this is, if that line should ever blow out and get a hydraulic leak, this restricts it. So instead of spraying, it's just going to ooze out of this outer liner. Okay. So it's a protective casing for the operator and whoever is nearby when it actually springs the leak. I said, if you're not a good climber, it's hard to get in some of these spots. We're testing the hose that I made, the hydraulic hose, making sure it isn't leaking, and all the functions on the truck work properly. When you get a chance and you build up air pressure, could you move it ahead some? When you run the can, because over there we got a... Okay, you're clear? Have a good day. That's how you do a hydraulic line.
Yeah. mission statement is to provide exceptional public safety services in a safe, compassionate, and professional manner. All of our line personnel are highly trained, state of Florida certified firefighter, EMTs, and paramedics. We cover approximately 105 square miles of the city of Northport and 20 miles of interstate. Camaraderie is important because you start working as a group, you do it in training, and it all seems to come together when you get out on the fire ground, and you really need your partners. Everybody knows never to leave your partner, and they don't. They've been trained in it. We have 5 fire stations located throughout the city in various locations, and we are planning number 6 in West Villages area. We also have all of our fire stations are considered safe places and safe havens. Safe places are for youth who are at risk and are in need of help, and they can come walk into any fire station and get the help that they're looking for. Safe havens for newborns is a different program, different age group, where infants can be brought to a fire station without question. All of our fire stations now are hardened facilities so that we can stay in them during storms and everyone stays safe. So police departments is in there, utilities, public works, whoever we need to go out immediately after the storm, then they're there with us to go. A lot of questions that people ask are why we send an ambulance and a fire truck to an EMS call, and a lot of that is for manpower. There's a lot of things to do when somebody is having a cardiac incident. So we send the fire truck with them for the extra manpower and lifting assistance and extra help. The whole goal for fire rescue is everybody goes home safe.
Frank Lama, Solid Waste Manager for the City of Northport, back here again today with Let's Recycle Right Northport. Got a few items for you today. Last week we did notice in the tan lid container shredded paper put in a plastic bag. Please, shredded paper does not belong in a plastic bag, okay? It belongs right here in a paper bag, please, and it belongs in a tan lid container. This right here, being in plastic, will be considered contamination and garbage. Let's talk about a candle, a glass candle. Yes, it is made of glass, but it is not recyclable right here in Northport. That's right, only glass jars and glass bottles are recyclable in the blue lid container. Let's also talk about the milk jug, water jug. Number 2, definitely recyclable, right? Here's the cap. If the cap is not attached, it will be garbage. So if you crush it down, put the cap on real nice and tight, this will make it through the process. This will be a number 2. Okay, so let's talk about the plastic ring. That's right, the plastic ring. This is a 12 holder. They have 6 holders out there. Please, this is not a recyclable material and needs to be placed inside your trash. So listen, put your comments below. We'll see you in a future video.
We support all technology at the City of Northport for all departments. We support a lot of the back-end infrastructure such as networking and servers, and computers and phone systems and mobile devices, a lot of the hardware. We also support software, so we support software applications, websites. We're a very digital-centric city. We leverage technology to be more efficient and effective in the way that we deliver our services. We provide technical support to all employees at the city. We're located on the 3rd floor of City Hall. We support all the facilities and all the departments. We travel quite a bit around the city, fixing things, implementing things, showing people how to use the technology that we've implemented. Data is very important to us in the city, so we want to ensure that the data that we have is quality data, and we can use that data to move our city in the right direction, make good decisions. Another thing that's really important to us is transparency. So we've made several efforts to make our information available to the public. For example, we stream all of our commission meetings so that citizens from anywhere in the world can look at our commission meetings. We have a financial transparency site. People can look up expenditures and revenues and salaries of employees. So we're very transparent. As you can imagine, much of the work that we do is related to houses and properties and that sort of thing. So we use a GIS system to keep track of all of this information and to assemble it in a way that's relevant to the people who are working on it. So, for example, people in the field that are using mobile devices and they look at GIS maps to help them, find where they need to work and what they need to do. Our utilities department uses this technology so that they can find out where the pipes are in the ground, so they can trace a problem or put in new pipes. So it's a very helpful system.
Makes me feel important that I'm doing something for the community. I like helping people, and I love the work. We got 2.8 inches of rain last night. How I approach it is I got to release some of that water out that we got and get prepared for the next day because it's going to rain again. Like I've been draining these for the last 2 weeks between 16 and 20 inches every day below the wall. And that one little rain, look what it did. For being here so long, you get experience, you get the feel of the water, how the water flows and all that. So if you've done it long enough, you get the feel. I could do this in my sleep because I'm so used to doing it. Yeah, I've been working for the city for 20 years. I'm from North Hills, Pennsylvania. I came down here to help my dad out when I graduated from high school. I started looking for like a future place I can work, retirement, and something's gonna be helpful for me in the long run and help people out. So I put in an application for the city and they hired me, which was good. Best thing that could ever happen. City's got 30 water control structures, 5 gated structures. I'm opening at least minimum 15 today. I got 3 kids, 2 boys and a daughter. And my oldest son gave me my first grandkid. He'll be 3. So I spent a lot of time with them. Because family's first. Oh, I'm a real sports fanatic, big hockey fan. Yeah, I was hoping my Penguins would win it this year, but I can't complain. They won the last 2 years. You can't win it all the time. Yesterday was 16 inches below. It's 10 inches above today. So what I'm doing here now is, when I open this one up, see how high it is? I'm draining it down. By the end of the day, this should be like 16 inches below the wall. And there's an R ditch here, and there's like outfalls that come in. Once you get to a certain level, you'll see the water coming into the canals. And then when I get done, I gotta log it on the computer. What I do is I write the time I was here, when I inspected it, what I did, the water level, and the height. This was like 20.4 this morning, and it's almost up to 21. Plus, the water that I'm bringing down raised it a little bit, but you see how it's pushing the water over fast? Each one controls a gate. If you put it on auto, it works on the computer. And then manual, this is for gate 2. If I wanted to close it, I hit the blue button, I hold it in until the gates can completely close. If I want to open it, I do the vice versa, the other opposite. And there's one for each one. Oh, I love my job. I get to work with good people. And we can enjoy what we're doing when we're at work. That's how I was brought up by my dad. He was real caring about his work, and so was I. So like I do take it home. I look at the weather and everything, so I look at the bridge rating and all that. And that should be it. I'll just come back and clean them off.
Building Division is responsible for making sure that all the codes that the state has adopted in construction is adhered to. And basically what we do is we go and do our plan reviews when the customer brings a set of plans in that they want to construct a commercial project or a residential project. We'll review the plans to make sure that they comply with all amenable codes that the state has adopted. After we issue the permit, then we'll go out and do all the inspections to make sure that they're constructed according to the plans. We're responsible for the safe construction of all these buildings, and we look at all aspects of the construction, from footings, foundations, block walls, to roof construction, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, in both commercial and residential. So when we have a commercial project that comes in, we're looking at all aspects of that to make sure that it is a safe environment and it has to be designed to withstand the 160-mile-an-hour wind criteria that the state has mandated that we look at. Our job is life safety, is to making sure that the building is constructed in a safe manner that it will stand the hurricane's design wind loads that we have down here. And that's what our job is to make sure people are safe in their buildings, that they can walk into their building knowing that Northport has done the best possible job we can to make sure that their building is constructed in a manner that they feel safe in, they can go home in.
The Planning and Zoning Division is responsible for all development management of the City of Northport, large-scale commercial developments, residential developments. The City of Northport's Planning and Zoning Division is divided into two separate sections. One is the Strategic Planning Group, and the other is the Tactical Planning Group. The Strategic Planning Group is responsible for development management through the preparing and updating of our comprehensive plan, its amendments, all the annexations, and reviewing development of regional impacts and zoning applications. The Strategic Planning Group is also responsible for updating our demographics, population projections, and land use data through GIS, and also maintain our land use and zoning maps. The tactical side of the office is responsible for maintaining the Unified Land Development Code, ensuring all development proposals that are submitted to the city are consistent and in compliance with ULDC, all of our master plans, our pattern books, zoning requirements, and the city's comprehensive plan. Tactical operations also helps coordinate all development proposals through the city departments, the division, and external agencies through our staff development review process, managing development's appearance, their architecture, traffic impacts, fiscal impacts, compliance to signage, landscape, and other development management requirements. We work closely with utilities, buildings, and public works. We also manage the environmental compliance issues on site development.
The Property Standards Division is what's otherwise known as code enforcement in other municipalities. We are located on the first floor of City Hall. Our job is to assure the health, safety, and welfare of our residents and insist in maintaining the community standards. We enforce the Unified Land Development Code, the Northport City Code, and the Florida Building Code. Northport City Code would be like grass and weeds. That's one of our major violations, especially in the summer. Unified Land Development Code would be like the number of vehicles on a property. Florida Building Code would be someone building something like a shed or something like that on the property without a permit. The purpose of code enforcement is to make sure that everything's safe in the communities, to make sure that everything's being built properly with the proper permits, to make sure that basically everything looks nice. If someone has an issue with a neighbor or a house that they drive by, they do have the option to contact Property Standards through phone, fax, or a North Report.
With a median age of 43, the city of Northport is known for its youthful mindset. They say that age is just a number in Northport, and that is evident inside this city's vibrant parks and recreational facilities. With more than 70,000 residents, this community boasts a variety of events, programs, and activities designed to engage, enlighten, and entertain all age groups. Many of these programs are brought to you by the city's Parks and Recreation Department. The Parks and Recreation Department offers 26 parks and facilities spread throughout more than 450 acres. This includes 10 neighborhood parks, 7 community parks, 8 special use parks, and 2 sports facilities. This vibrant park system features a dog park, an interpretive garden with a boundless playground, nature areas, 12 playgrounds, pavilion rentals, basketball courts, tennis courts, outdoor pickleball courts, canoe and kayak launches, and so much more. Parks and Recreation also oversees the operations of 2 full-service community centers, the George Mullen Activity Center and the Morgan Family Community Center, and provide facility rentals, fitness center program, an Adopt a Park program, tree bench and paver dedication program, opportunities for donations and sponsorships, and youth scholarships. Formed in October 2018, the Parks and Recreation Department, which was formerly a division, consists of 30 employees with a variety of functions, from planning programs and events to maintaining park grounds and aesthetics to conducting outreach efforts to attract more visitors. In 2019, the department will open a new Northport Aquatic Center and expand its operations with a huge splash of new programs and activities. Events and programs are the cornerstone of the Parks and Recreation Department's services. The city offers a growing number of recreational programs, from group exercise to sports and summer camp. Many Parks and Recreation staff teach sessions, and the department also contracts with outside vendors to offer even more instructional classes to meet the needs of the community. Parks and Recreation's events are a family tradition for Northport households, including the city's signature Poinsettia Parade and Festival, the Freedom Festival, Eggnormous Egg Hunt, Flashlight Egg Hunt, and Trick or Treat at City Hall. To encourage time spent together, the department also offers a Grandparents' Day ice cream social, a Sweetheart Ball, and a Mother and Son Night. Cultural events are also an important part of the city's calendar and include concerts in the park and an annual Arts on the Green. For a full listing of Parks and Recreation's activities, visit the department's full calendar at cityofnorthport.com/parks and recreation. Inside the city's 2 community centers are fitness centers. In fact, the department has more than 1,400 active fitness members, including 700 DeFi memberships for local teens who pledge to remain drug-free. All the City of Northport's employees receive a complimentary annual fitness membership at no cost, and enrollment is available through employee orientation. Fitness members receive access to 2 fitness centers with a variety of cardio equipment, free weights, plate-loaded equipment, and daily use locker rooms. Members also receive a discount on pavilion and room rentals and a free fitness center orientation. As it relates to ecotourism, outdoor enthusiasts can find sanctum inside this 104.3 square mile community. Visitors enjoy canoeing and kayaking, cycling, hiking, bird watching, and other outdoor activities in Northport. In fact, Northport is the only municipality in the state of Florida with a full state forest within its boundaries, the 8,000-acre Myakka State Forest. The city is also home to War Mineral Springs Park and a rich archaeological history. Parks and Recreation works with an outside management company to provide the daily operations at War Mineral Springs Park. This natural Florida spring maintains 85 to 87 degrees year-round and reportedly contains 51 different minerals, which makes it one of the highest mineral content springs in North America. Visitors come from all over the world to soak in the mineral-dense waters. But the real story of War Mineral Springs Park is what lies beneath the water's surface. Evidence of prehistoric hunters and the remains of a saber-toothed tiger, a mammoth, and artifacts that date back more than 10,000 years have been pulled from the estimated 230-foot depths of the springs. It seems as though people and animals have been visiting War Mineral Springs for centuries. We hope you will too. The Parks and Recreation Department also is home to a robust capital improvement program. Currently, this includes the addition of a 1-mile trail along the Myakkahatchee Creek Greenway, a Boundless Adventures playground, development of a disc golf course, a playground replacement and parking lot expansion at Blue Ridge Park, construction of the Northport Aquatic Center, and development of a War Mineral Springs Park master plan. In 2019, additional projects include design services of a new community center at Atwater Park, adding playground equipment next to the new aquatic center at Butler Park, and adding additional park enhancements, including picnic tables and benches at various parks and a shade cover at the Atwater Splash Pad. Northport prides itself on providing plenty of opportunities for play. Deemed a Playful City USA for 8 consecutive years, Northport is home to a robust Parks and Recreation system. We are thrilled to have you as part of the City of Northport's overall team and hope you will enjoy playing and working with us.
Frank Lamas, Solid Waste Manager for the City of Northport. We're here today to talk about 3 recycling tips. The first one is plastic bags. Now, plastic bags are not accepted within our recycling program. Plastic bags are not accepted within our recycling program. So let's talk about some of the plastic bags. Grocery bags, okay, they're very important. We see them inside the blue lid container quite often. They need to be returned back to the grocery stores. And that would be your Publix, your Walmarts, your Targets. Please return them back there. Do not place recyclable items inside these bags. Tie them and place them in the blue lid tote. If it goes down to the processor, it is called contaminant. It's contaminated and they will not accept it. So please, keep the grocery bags outside. Now remember, it's not just grocery bags. Okay, we're talking about bread bags, lunch bags, big plastic garbage bags that fill the recyclables. And we have one right here to show you. And I'll go ahead and show you. This is what we find out there. This right here is contaminated. All this clean recyclable is contaminated because it's inside a plastic bag. Plastic bags are not accepted within our recycling program. Plastic bags are not accepted within our recycling program. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please, if you have any questions about recyclable materials or how to recycle, place it in the comment below and we will try to get to you in a future video. Frank Lamas, Solid Waste Manager for the City of Northport, back here again today with you for Let's Recycle Right Northport. So, couple of things. We have an aluminum can and a straw. Now the aluminum can right here, 500 million are consumed each day. This is the most valuable recycling item you can see out there in the world today. Let's talk about the plastic straw, okay? The plastic straw. 500 million are used each day. This is not a recyclable item right here in Northport. That's right. Even though it's plastic, don't let it fool you. Just because it's plastic, it is not a recyclable material right here inside our program. Now the aluminum can, yes, that is a recyclable item right here in Northport. And Lana, thank you very much for your comment and question. And the question was about plastic bags, water bags, salt bags. These are not a recyclable item right here in Northport. These belong in your trash, please. They belong in the trash, they do not belong in the blue lid container. Bleach bottles, that's right, bleach bottles are a recyclable material right here in Northport, a number 2. They belong in the blue lid container. The only thing you'll have to do is make sure they're empty, clean, and dry. If you have any more of the questions or comments, please place them below and we'll get to you in the next video. Thank you very much.
What makes this place so special is the people, the community who you serve and the people who you work with. Our mission statement is to provide the community with the elite law enforcement services out there, with the highest priority being the protection of life and property. We work 24/7, holidays, there's no time off. Our agency is rapidly growing. We have a detective bureau, we have a traffic unit, We have a full crime scene unit. Northport PD is an accredited agency. Actually, we're double Excelsior accredited, which is we are one of 14, I believe, other agencies in the state of Florida that have reached that double Excelsior accredited. It's a very prestigious accomplishment to have. Most of the people only see the police officers in uniforms out there doing the day-to-day tasks, but they can't do that alone. In the background, what people don't see a lot is the support staff here at Northport Police Department. We go from very high-density areas to very rural areas throughout the city. The challenge that Northport Police Department is facing right now is the rapid growth in the city of Northport and trying to keep up with those levels of service. Law enforcement officers wear many different hats, but at the end of the day, it's they're problem solvers. They're there for you 24/7, and their importance of all of our officers that we stress to is to go home safe at night.